Live from the Dunkin Latte Lounge.
All right, welcome to the Dunkin Latte Lounge. My name is Garrett from Elvis Duran and the Z100 Morning Show, joined by three fellas, East Coast boys, now doing their thing on the West Coast. We welcome Jake Miller and Fly By Midnight. Gentlemen, welcome to the Dunkin Latte Lounge.
Thanks for having us.
What's up? Thanks for having us. Yeah.
All right, so let's start with this, Jake. I want to go straight into it. What made you get into a U-Haul and go from Miami to California and not use a plane?
Well, I did fly here, actually. We just put all of our furniture in the U-Haul.
Oh, you didn't drive? You didn't do a cross country, see the world, see the country in all its beauty? Then you missed out.
Thank you for that. No, I just hopped on a plane.
Well, that takes out most of my interview. Then we're just going to go straight to the performance, then, guys. And then pretty much the biggest thing to come out of Staten Island, aside from myself, Fly By Midnight, I was super stoked when we were doing some research on you guys. It's one of those things where you hear your music and then you start researching. You're like, well, we're from the same place. It's Christina Aguilera, and then I'm sure you've been down the road of who else is from Staten Island aside from yourselves. So, but it's kind of cool to know, like, it's like hometown boys doing their thing and creating music with a guy that's pretty much has grown up on our show. So it's kind of cool how everything's coming together at once.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because, like you said, we're all not from LA, and we kind of found ourselves in this hub here and just making music together. And I met Slavo 7 years ago now in Staten Island because, fun fact, I'm born and raised in Staten Island, but Slavo's actually from Florida, which is where Jake's from as well.
It's a weird full circle moment. Yeah,
it really is. Like when as you get older too, and I'm sure you're seeing it now. It's like they say, it's a small world. It literally is. Like when you start hearing like, oh yeah, no, I grew up 2 blocks down that way, and you're like, no way. But it's kind of interesting to go that way. Now, Justin, where in Staten Island, North or South Shore? Let's just get the local question out of the way.
Huguenot, South Shore. Went to Tottenville High School. I missed being in the same course class of BB Rexa by like 10 minutes.
BB Rexa too. That's what I'm talking about. It's always you always hear someone else BB Rexa. I mean, you
did go to school with Pete Davidson, right?
Yeah, I went to school with Pete Davidson. We had a sex ed together, which you can only imagine what that was like. And I think we had lunch together too.
Imagine looking forward into the future. Like if you could tell Pete Davidson, hey man, you have no idea what your future is about to look like. Like you could be dating a pop star and you're like, and it would be one of those and be like, all right, that's cool, whatever, bro. And then you fast forward and it happens. North Shore for me, the closest connection I have is the Impractical Jokers. But yeah, see, it all comes together. Now let's talk about you guys. How did three guys pretty much come together? What was that first meeting? How, Jake, did you find the guys? Guys, did you find Jake? Where does this fairy tale romance begin?
Justin and I were actually on a flight last year coming out to LA for like 6 months, and we were reaching out to as many people as possible on Instagram and social media, all that stuff. And Jake was one of the first people when we landed that actually hit us up right away. And somehow you had his number.
I think we went back and forth on email. Or something.
Yeah, and when I tell you, Garrett, we literally landed out of LAX, and I said to Slavo, coming here for 6 months, because it was before we moved. We wanted to try it out and see. We're like, coming here is going to be the best thing for our career. We're going to meet famous people. It's going to be this. And as soon as we land, this guy texts us, and we were in the studio 3 days after, right?
Yeah.
I was expecting Jake to be at the airport with the sign, just waiting.
Basically, yeah. That's what it felt like for us.
I love it.
So you guys connect right away, and is it one of those things like, I don't know how this works. I'm not on the music side. I just talk to people who make music. Is it like a first date where you kind of have to feel each other out and be like, yeah, we could work something together, or this could work, or is it that ever awkward of like, yeah, that's cool, you want to be nice, but I don't see us working together? Like, how did it all come together essentially?
I think from the beginning we just knew that our musical styles were pretty similar. And so once we actually met and we realized that we're all from the East Coast and we all are a similar vibe personally, it just kind of clicked, which is more important than our music, jiving. Right. As long as we click personally, I think it's always we can make a cool song or just have a great session. And so we've made like 4 or 5 songs together, but more importantly, we've become like best friends. Like I consider them some of my best friends here in LA. Yeah. We've had a lot of long drinking nights together. We've had celebrations, Halloween's, birthdays. So you know, we're just glad to finally be on a song together too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it also feels like during these crazy times and kind of, what do they call it? Your quarantine? Your
Yep,
team.
your quarantine. I like that. You should put it on a shirt. Merchandise, quickly. Hurry up.
But I feel like we've gotten closer too.
Yeah, totally.
Like these past however many months, just kind of staying in your circle of people that you trust, and yeah, we've just been kicking it more. And like Jake said, we actually, the first time we worked together, we wrote, and we co-wrote, and Slavo produced as well, Jake's single "Nobody Else."
Mhm.
So we've been working together, and music has been out that we've written together.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a long overdue thing to finally have all of our voices on one song. Yeah.
Have you sang "Can We Get a Puppy" back to Jake at all?
Can we get a what?
Can we get a puppy?
The TikTok song.
Oh yeah.
Are you glad at least music is back up, and like TikTok gave Jake you a very creative outlet, but at the end of the day, you can only make so many TikTok songs. Be like, all right, I gotta start making songs again. Like I gotta get back out there.
Jake did those right. I remember like listening to those in the quarantine. Like that's pretty good.
Fun. I was quarantined at my parents' house. There wasn't really much that I can do in terms of like making full songs because I just wasn't inspired to sit down and like actually sit in my childhood bedroom and make a song. So like the difference between that and sitting and doing nothing was, you know, getting creative and making a little 20-second TikTok song. So it was what it was. It was a fun time. Me and my family will always look back on those videos and just kind of have good memories.
And when you look back at them, they're only 20 seconds. So it's not like you got to sit down and go through the whole album too. Like, let's sit down and look back at Jake's little pictures. Let's see what he did from. So how is it for you guys now? I mean, like, it's kind of like everybody's left with that question mark of what's the future look like? Where are we going? Is it for you guys just horse blinders on? Let's just see what we can create in the next however many weeks or months or years that are you all living out in LA permanently now? Or is this temporarily? What's the deal?
Yeah, I think it's all permanent for us. And you know, it's funny, being Jake's been in the industry for a while, and we've, the past like 3 years, really kind of started to make footprints as well. We have a lot of conversations about that, right? Like what the next year looks like, what the next couple of years, what the plan is now. And I think, and I don't want to speak on behalf of you, but I think for us, it always comes back to the music and just giving fans the best music possible right now. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know when any of us are going to be back on the road in any capacity. But yeah, I think I feel more inspired than I was 6 months ago. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So I think things are starting to shift.
You can either let it negatively affect you and, you know, think, you know, I'm never going to be back on the road, you know, I'm not seeing the fans, and just kind of, you know, let it just get to you like that and you know, affect your inspiration in the studio. Or you could say, let's put out as much music as possible. Let's do as many virtual shows as possible. Let's reach out to the fans and do, you know, Zoom calls, FaceTimes, and just, you know, take it in a different direction. And so I feel like that's what we've been doing. And until we can get back on the road, and hopefully 2021, the three of us can somehow get on the road and tour together, because I know we would have fun. I know that the fans would love that. And you know.
I think they would too. I mean, so Jake, have you shared with Slavo and Justin, once, you know, they make it to the point, you could be sleeping in your hotel room and then be woken up one morning for a radio interview by a DJ as you're half naked in bed?
Yes, that did happen. I don't know if you guys know about that.
What an honor.
Yeah. So Elvis sent one of our guys at the time, Greg T, to Jake's room and woke him up
on the radio. It was
live on the radio. Yeah. No. Hey, we're coming over, or hey, this is going to be set up, and nope, live on the radio. So there's the YouTube link. You guys can check it out. Watch it together as friends later and reminisce. But see what you guys have to look forward to. Like, I mean, it's just scratching the surface. All right, so let's get into Automatic too. Let's the cool thing about this is this gives you an opportunity in the Dunkin Latte Lounge right now to kind of like give the backstory. Like, it's one thing to play the song, everyone has their own interpretation of it, but this is kind of like, let's get into your mind. Let's get into day one of writing it, thinking of the concept, producing it, to where it's at right now.
Yeah, I think Automatic was one of those songs that we did at the beginning of quarantine, right? Before everything just like kind of shut down. And for us, it was funny. We had a song that came before that we wrote called LA Lonely. That was the exact opposite feeling of like, you know, it's in the title, LA Lonely. And essentially we had a session a few days later with another writer. And we had this idea of just that automatic feeling of meeting someone. I think Justin came in, which he often does come in with ideas. And to have that moment in quarantine where he found someone that he actually connected with through the whole thing. and then how it related to me. And then when we found out about Jake and how it related to him, we're all like in relationships right now that are at a certain point that feels automatic and comfortable. And I think that was probably the most inspiring part, like why we wanted to put it out. Cause
Yeah. I also think, I mean, for Saleva and I, we've been putting out music before that was kind of in this heartbreak world, and it was really interesting. Like Saleva said, we wrote LA Lonely, and I remember that was kind of inspired by moving to LA, and like I think I went on a date that I felt very, very disconnected, and I was like, man, LA may just not be where we put our like feet down for a while.
Was that your first West Coast date outside of, you know, dating people from the East Coast?
It was since we actually moved here. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, that's just not the vibe. And then shortly after I met someone, Salevo's engaged now. Jake's very happy in a relationship. And I think it's really cool to write a song that has such a positive message of just meeting someone and it just clicks. It's really that simple, at least to me. And I think,
it's almost like you guys are in the progression of relationships right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, there, and then.
But no, it's a song about just clicking with someone, and it's a celebration of that. I think, at least to me. Yeah.
And you came into the picture essentially. You know, we've been talking about how we've been working together for a couple of years, and Jake randomly hit us up. It's like, hey, we got to figure out how to do a song together. And Justin and I had a conversation when he sent that. Was like, dude, we've been looking for someone on automatic. How come we didn't think of Jake? And like that was like a nice little spark moment for us. When
I'll meet you at the airport, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they were like, come over. We think we have the song. We played it for our team, and we told them that we're thinking about you. So come over. We want to play it for you. And I think they were like a little nervous that I might not like it, but like I'm huge fans of theirs, and like I told you guys, like I listen to them all the time, like while I'm working out, while I'm just chilling in my house. Like I literally listen to them all the time, even though they're my best friends. And so I'm like, it doesn't really matter what you play right now, as long as you guys like it. I know I'm gonna like it.
Now, Jake, being friends with them too, like, is it that like weird thing, like when you hear yourself on the radio, you kind of have to turn it off because you're tired of hearing your own self on the radio. You're like, all right, cool, it's cool after that. Now, and being friends with them, do you still listen when you're working out to them, or it's like I see enough of them, I talk too much to them, I'm just gonna take a time out?
Normally, I would never listen to my friends like that. I would support them and
right.
I would acknowledge that their music is good, but it would feel awkward listening to them.
Right, exactly. Like,
to them.
So I'm sure you guys have done plenty of Zooms, like interviews and hangouts, but like it must be weird for you because it is for me at times. Like when someone's performing and like you're looking at the camera right here, and it's like it just feels like, okay, well, I don't know where else to look right now. Like, do I look down? But that's weird, and so I get it. I mean, I understand where you guys are coming from. All right, so before we jump into Automatic, let's just handle all the socials across the board. And I'll put out a press release to SI Live to talk about how Staten Island has come together, and we've brought Jake Miller along. We have to take Jake to Staten Island eventually.
I got a quick story for you. We actually had Jake out to Staten Island, and he took an Uber that was like a $200 ridiculously expensive, but we had him to a backyard party in Staten Island last year.
Yeah, it was great,
and it was a big pool party, and I did not think Jake was going to show up, and he was like, man, all right, I'm coming, I'm in an Uber. And I was like, from the city, you're in an Uber?
What part of Staten Island is the guy experience that again?
Yeah, South Shore. I mean, it's right near.
Oh yes, from Manhattan to the South Shore. You might as well just take find a private jet at that point.
Exactly, but no, we've had him out, and that was a great time.
Great time. Yeah. So much great food.
Yeah, great food. We know how to do.
Well,
Italian food.
Italian food. It is the mecca of food. There's whole pizza tours. I mean, one slice, everybody knows the rules. We can go up and down Highland Boulevard until we're blue in the face. All right. So hypothetical question before we get into the performance. All right. We're all sitting on Highland Boulevard at the Dunkin, okay, on Staten Island, just because, it's a nice day and we finally broke in quarantine and we can hang out. What's that one artist you guys, you can all have one or three, it doesn't matter, you would love to sit down and just pick their brain? They could be passed on, they could be alive, they could not even be born yet, whoever it might be. Who is that artist for each one of you guys?
I think mine's Billy Joel. I grew up listening to him. He's kind of a legend.
I just got into his vinyls. Like it's one thing, like I started getting into vinyl over, I guess it was my quarantine hobby, that and baseball cards, which is weird, but Billy Joel on vinyl, awesome.
Yeah, I've been getting into that. But no, he's always been one of those inspiring writers as far as like how narrative he is, and he's big on the stories, and something that we've always tried to do in our writing. So I would love to pick his brain and just see, figure out his process and how he does his thing.
I think mine would be Eminem, just because he just seems like such a mystery. Like everybody else has social media, and you
Right.
see some of the interviews, and like this guy, not only did he like spark my love for music as like a 8-year-old kid after watching 8 Mile, and like he was my love for hip hop. That's how it originated. But also just him as a person, he's just like, I just feel like he's a mystery to everybody.
You know, it's funny. I think early on M, I think we all can agree, like you wouldn't be able to get anything out of him. But I think where M is now in his life, I think if you had the opportunity, and hopefully it does come, like he would sit down and, you know, talk shop with you, where he knows, you know, you're not trying to get something from him, but you're genuinely curious, and he'll explain it to you. That's where that's my I could be totally wrong, but that's what I think. I mean, 20 years ago, Eminem, no, you'd get the finger and a palm to the face and say, see you later.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
Justin,
I think Paul McCartney probably, just because not only he kind of unlocked my love for songwriting, but he's been in so many phases of his career and being where he is now and still putting out he put out a record a couple of years ago, I feel like. And it's just like, for me, I've lately in quarantine, I've been thinking about the future and where like Fly By Midnight's going, where our friends are going, where our family's going. And I think he's just had this long journey of so many different phases of his career. It'd be really cool to sit down and just learn when they pivoted in their certain points of their career. It's really inspiring. It's an inspiring journey.
I'm also having a visual right now of the 7 of us sitting at a Dunkin' and eating munchkins, talking business, jelly donuts and chocolate. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time. Oh, let's cover the socials. Let's be real. If you're watching this right now, your fans, they already know your socials, but because it's like a thing, like we have to do it, because then it looks cool, looks professional. Seems like I know what I'm talking about. But it's like, if you're watching this, maybe you're brand new. This is the first time you're meeting Jake Miller, Fly By Midnight, or even me. Let's go over your socials.
It's Fly By Midnight on everything, right? I think so.
I believe so.
I think we got rid of the underscores and all the other stuff.
Pains
so
and
Fly By Midnight.
But the worst things ever. Underscores and dots.
Exactly. No, we're past that. That's in the past. We're professional now. And yeah, on YouTube too. Fly By Midnight. Yeah.
And Jake, Jake Miller, what's your social, just in case Jake, no one knows who Jake Miller social is? I mean,
I couldn't get Jake Miller, so I went with Jack Miller. Jack Miller across the board.
That's that's the thing. When you check into the Four Seasons, people are going to look under Jack Miller now. Like you had the opportunity.
Just Jake Miller.
Jake Miller. There we go. All right, fellas, thank you for hanging, waking up early on the West Coast for us. We do appreciate it. And this is Automatic. And thank you for watching on the Dunkin' Latte Lounge.
Wake up, man, I hit the front door. Tell myself go out more. End up in the same bed lonely. Feels like every day is wasted. Like I'm on a wait list for someone really know me. I don't know where you're from. I don't care if it's real. Cause I like the way you talk, the way you feel, yeah. Automatic, boy, you feel like magic. Cinematic, and I gotta have it. Whoa, you feel like magic. Yeah, I love the way you talk, the way you feel, baby. Da-da-da-dum, dum, da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum, dum, da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum, dum, da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum, dum. I've been driving with the brakes on, taking all the turns wrong. But if it brought me here, I'm not mad. Tell me this don't happen often. Got you ditching your friends, say that you never do that. I don't know where you're from, I don't care if it's real. Hey, cause I like the way you talk, the way you feel. Let's go. Automatic, well you feel like magic. Cinematic, and I gotta have it. Well you feel like magic. Yeah, I love the way you talk, the way you feel, baby. Automatic, well you feel like magic. Cinematic, and I gotta have it. I love the way you talk, the way you feel, baby. Yeah, I love the way you talk, the way you feel, baby.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-dum, dum, da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum, dum, da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum, dum, da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum, dum, dum, dum.
Live from the Dunkin Latte Lounge.